I would take great pleasure if I was seen as a bit of a pain in the ass at Sport New Zealand headquarters, because we should be raising the questions, and we don't necessarily need to be answering them, but we certainly need to be generating conversation around sport and the future of sport in New Zealand. You know, we need to ask questions about it. We need to ask questions about whether our taxpayer money is going in the right places for sport. We need to ask questions about whether the boards of New Zealand rugby and New Zealand cricket are diversified enough, whether women get their voice heard at the top table enough, whether Pacifica and Maori get their voice heard at the top table often enough, whether our Olympic team is dominated by sports that are elitist, sports where most New Zealanders don't have access to them, like rowing and triathlon and even cycling. All the money goes towards winning medals at the Olympics and Commonwealth Games. And while that is noble enough in itself, and I'm sure the country gets a kick out of watching our athletes do well at the Olympics, I see a lot of issues in community and school sport with kids struggling to afford access to sport. And I hate the thought of kids being denied access and opportunity to sport because their parents can't afford it, and that's clearly happening, and it's clearly happening in Auckland. Just to use a loose example in a sport I've written about lately, badminton is massively popular in Auckland. It's massively popular in Auckland because of the Asian wave of immigration here, and there's not enough courts. You cannot get on a court some days, some weeks in Auckland to play badminton, but they don't get a dollar in funding in real terms, because they're not a sport where we're expected to win medals at. So I think there has been a little bit of a disconnect between community and high performance sport. They're all conversations, and I'm really happy to be shouted down on them a lot of the time, but I think we should be raising them, and as sports journalists, that's our job to raise them.
I'm Dylan Cleaver, Sports Editor at Large for the New Zealand Herald.